Alcohol, everyone's best friend when out socialising, everyone's worst enemy the next morning, especially if that morning involves a training workout. So, do you have to choose, or can you somehow combine and balance the two? Well, in the name of science, I have very kindly offered and volunteered to take one for the team here. I'm going to do a hard running session today, tracking all my physiological metrics, and then, because it's our office Christmas party today, I'm going to get absolutely up. And assuming I haven't got fired, I'm going to be back again tomorrow to do the same running session and see how things change. See you in a bit.
So today I'm going to be doing 5 lots of 1 kilometre reps at my threshold pace, which should be around 3:30 per kilometre-ish, with 90 seconds jogging between. And I'm feeling pretty good today. My HRV this morning was 84. So, let's do this. Whew, well, that was tough, but felt quite controlled. Now time for a shower, and then Christmas party. Woo!
Day 2, post office Christmas party. It's been a slow start to today, feeling pretty groggy. Not feeling my best, but not terrible, actually, and I had a great time. HRV this morning, 60. So not terrible, but definitely lower than yesterday. Do I feel up to doing 5x1k? Absolutely not. In fact, it's taken me at least 2 hours just to get out of the door. But here we are. I'm onto the canal, give this another crack and see what happens to my body, see if I can hit those paces and what my heart rate's doing. I'm struggling to get going, even on the warm-up. But here we go. I'm out running, 5x1k coming up. Okay, I'm on to my second rep. I'm not doing too bad pace-wise, maybe a couple of seconds slower. What was noticeable, even just after the first rep, is my heart rate just not coming down in between the kilometre reps like it was yesterday. So I've kind of started this next one with already high heart rate, just generally not feeling as recovered. Okay, final kilometre. As anticipated, I'm not recovering very well in between these kilometres. Definitely not as well as I was yesterday. Heart rate is still, well, it's only just below 170 now, and I'm at least 30 seconds into my recovery already. It's not looking good. I am actually doing okay, but gotta wonder what the consequences of this are. I'm having to dig fairly deep. Final one. Session done and dusted. Actually, didn't do too badly on the paces, only a couple of seconds outside, which, given how I felt in the early hours this morning coming in through the door, I did not think that would be possible. However, yesterday I finished the session feeling pretty cruisy, pretty happy, pretty chilled. Today, I know I've dug deep for that one. I can really feel it. Which makes you wonder, doesn't it? About how this might affect me later in the day, following sessions. Anyway, I get back, hang on the sofa for the rest of the afternoon.
Cheers. Good effort, Mark. Bit of hair of the dog there for you. Clearly, alcohol when drunk in high volumes is not good for your performance the next day. But why? And how is alcohol generally affecting your fitness? Endurance sports require a combination of physical fitness, mental resilience, and consistent training. For many athletes, central to all of that is a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, but alcohol does find its way into the lives of
endurance athletes, be it for a celebratory drink after a race, a social event, maybe part of your regular diet, or an office Christmas party. Either way, understanding the impact of alcohol on our training, our performance, can help you to make informed decisions about your consumption.
So first, your performance. Everyone knows that alcohol is not going to make you perform better the next day after a big boozy binge. And also everyone knows that alcohol is not going to make you perform better in a race. So we won't dwell here too long, because I don't think you guys are watching this video to find out how you can perform hard sessions whilst hungover, or how you can do a good race whilst drunk. But unsurprisingly perhaps, because I'm sure there was no shortage of college students volunteering, there have been studies done on this. Also, unsurprisingly, it didn't end well. Alcohol really affects your performance. It affects your cardiovascular system by shooting up your blood pressure and your heart rate.
Yeah, it also affects your coordination and reaction time, even in small amounts. And although alcohol does provide around 7 calories per gram, it takes a while for your body to turn the alcohol into acetaldehyde, then into acetic acid, and then into acetyl-CoA, the substance your body can actually use for energy. And critically, whilst doing this, it switches off carb and fat usage for energy at the same time. So alcohol is really bad for your endurance in a race.
Yeah. But you didn't watch this video because you want to drink during your race. You want to know if it's okay to drink alcohol socially and still achieve your triathlon goals. What you really need to know when it comes to alcohol is that its effects are exponential. Having 2 drinks doesn't double the effects of a single drink. It far exceeds that. And doubling that again to 4 drinks is not even in the same ballpark. So what does it affect?
Hydration, or more accurately, dehydration. Alcohol is in fact a diuretic, meaning that it promotes fluid loss. You don't just pee more because you've drunk more fluid. Alcohol actually inhibits the release of a hormone called ADH. This hormone stops you from peeing out too much fluid. And this can exacerbate dehydration, because as endurance athletes already sweating out loads, this is going to be a critical concern. Dehydration doesn't just affect performance, it also affects recovery by affecting the blood flow to our working muscles and transporting the valuable nutrients and oxygen to repair.
Recovery. On top of that poor recovery from dehydration, alcohol also affects your recovery in other ways. Remember what we said about alcohol overriding your carbohydrate metabolism? Well, exercise depletes your liver and muscle glycogen, and if you're not metabolizing carbohydrates, that's going to take a lot longer to restore those. It's also been shown that alcohol can inhibit muscle protein synthesis, and while 1 drink doesn't really make any difference, 2 to 3 drinks has been shown to decrease testosterone levels in men and women by up to 23% for up to 36 hours after drinking. That's a lot of lost recovery time.
And then there's your sleep. Alcohol affects your sleep quality. And I know what you're thinking, not me, I pass out after a couple of pints. Well, actually it does. It affects everyone's sleep quality by reducing the amount of deep sleep and REM that we get. Basically, our restorative stages of our sleep, which will help with repairing muscles and our cognitive function. And it's these phases of sleep where the most hormones are released to help with our recovery. And on top of that, it also affects our concentration and how well we can perform in perhaps tomorrow's training session.
We've already painted a pretty bleak picture of what alcohol does to you physiologically. This didn't start as a slam on alcohol, but it doesn't actually have a lot going for it. Except, of course, the obvious. The reason so many people drink in the first place. Because, let's be honest, you didn't stop watching this video believing that alcohol was performance enhancing.
So given that alcohol is so great for socializing, relaxing, and just generally having a good time, you're probably going to keep drinking no matter what we say in today's video. So what do you need to look out for, and how do you mitigate its nasty side effects?
Alcohol almost seems to have a dark ulterior motive: to make you fat. Not only does alcohol provide empty calories with absolutely no nutritional value, it also inhibits the production of the hormone leptin, which is responsible for making you feel full when you eat. So that's why you guzzled down that whole leftover pizza when you got home from the pub. Alcohol is a surefire way to tank that elite athlete diet that you've been following so strictly for so long. You have been following it, right?
Perhaps reducing your inhibitions is exactly why you drink, almost as a social lubricant. It doesn't just make talking to attractive people a bit easier, it also reduces or inhibits your willpower. So whilst 1 or 2 drinks may be okay and not affect your race preparation too much, 2 drinks may lead to 3, 4, or more. And before you know it, you're having a late boozy night, raiding a fridge early in the morning and have a banging hangover the next day, which in turn is probably going to write off your training for the next day, and it all just falls apart.
Some athletes turn to alcohol to relieve stress from hard training or even relieve pre-race anxiety. But alcohol is a depressant, and while its short-term effects might be great long-term, it only increases your anxiety and depression. So, should you resign yourself to a life of 0% beer and soft drinks forever?
Well, if you're hoping to win the world champs or set a new world record, then you absolutely should say goodbye to alcohol. It's just simply not worth it. But for most other athletes, the occasional moderate alcoholic consumption, it's not going to significantly impact your performance. And actually the mental health benefits of occasionally having a little unwind and social with some friends are probably well worth it. And when you do drink, know your limits and make sure you rehydrate. And just to point out, drinking more beer and more wine doesn't rehydrate you, just in case you were confused by that. At the end of the day, success in endurance sports does come down to how much you are willing to sacrifice. If you are willing to sacrifice every lie-in, every lunch hour, every minute, family time, then yes, you probably will be more successful, but will you be happier? Well, you personally just need to find out how much and where you find that balance of all of that. And just to be clear, I'm not necessarily endorsing alcohol, but you probably didn't click on this video if you don't drink alcohol. But anyway, I hope today's video has been fun, insightful, and if you would like to let us know what you think in the comment section down below, please do get involved. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a like. I am going to go and have a rest now. Not feeling great.